Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Houston's own internationally acclaimed two-time author and motivational speaker extraordinaire. Give it up for the host of the Brandon Holt Show. It's Brandon Holt!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Brandon Holt Show. This is our 4th episode. We are so glad that you have tuned in tonight. We are streaming all across the world. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and all kinds of platforms. We want you to know that your voice matters, and we're truly glad that you're on the feed. My first guest tonight is a poet who's been with us for the last 3 weeks, and tonight she's concluding her series of poems. She's all the way out of Long Beach, aka Strong Beach, California. Her name is Lavette Cherie. She's a master poet. Let me show you a little bit about who she is before we bring her out.
Is that karma I see? A powerful destiny coming right at me. My fate is pleasantry. We finally get to meet. All my deeds filled with empathy. The ancestors agree. In my suffering, I grant you clemency. In your actions, they set me free. A spiritual influence of clarity. In your future, I foresee a seed full of jealousy. And your suffering in the 3rd degree, I still pray endlessly with the Cherokee that your life complexities may grant you a legacy and not the death penalty. That is karma. I see.
Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the one and only Lavette Cherie.
Unity is what we all need. As lives waste away, can you see? As we bleed. Our minds play. This has become our creed. Feels like a doomsday. Why you selling grams? Got no dignity? We need to plant seeds. Do you understand? Lead our families so that the children can be free. I'm praying on my knees. This is grand. Don't just let it be. You must believe. Unity is our breed.
Everybody, that is Lavette Cherie. Lavette, thank you so much for joining us the last few weeks on the show. Tell everybody, how can they get a hold of your poems?
You can find me at Lavette Cherie on every platform. You can also find me at Amazon with Z Publishing, Lavette Cherie. You can go to lavettecherie.com.
All right, so what's next in store for you, Lavette?
I am working with USC and the Community Literature Initiatives on my next poetry book. So.
Oh, that's awesome. We wish the best for you. Thank you so much for coming on all month. We'll see you again, hopefully in the near future. Thank you, Lavette.
Bye-bye.
That was Lavette Cherie, everyone. Before we go to my next guest, I want to play a quick commercial. Let's take a look.
From 14 years old to 2 years old in just 1 week. Hi, this is Connie B, letting you know about the release of my new book, When Screaming Isn't Enough. This is a riveting true story of my 14-year-old daughter being bit by an infectious mosquito. So just go on Amazon.com to get your copy today of When Screaming Isn't Enough by Connie B. That's When Screaming Isn't Enough by Connie B on Amazon.com.
All right, everybody. My next guest, his name is Dr. Jimmy Seitz. Dr. Jimmy Seitz is a self-published author. He's an outdoorsman. He's an award-winning outdoorsman. He's traveled all over the world hunting and telling his story. But he has a hit TV show. They're in their 18th season, over 60 million viewers worldwide. I want to show you a backstory of Jimmy Sites, and then we'll bring him out on the show.
And hosts the Spiritual Outdoor Adventures television show.
Producer and host of the award-winning series Spiritual Outdoor Adventures, now in its 18th season, airing nationwide in the USA and 54 additional countries. Jimmy was inducted into the Outdoor Legends Hall of Fame in 2014. In 2018, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame as American Sportsman of the Year. He is sponsored by and serves as national spokesperson for several top companies and nonprofits. Over 2,500 disadvantaged children in third world countries have been sponsored by Jimmy's speaking engagements. Jimmy and his team lead a producers camp each summer to help television producers learn the art of creating outdoor television and marketing their show. Jimmy is also a character in a cartoon film along with Ed Hunter and Buddy Buck, known as Kids Corner. Welcome Jimmy Sites to the Brandon Holt Show.
Everybody help me welcome the one and only Dr. Jimmy Sites. Dr. Sites, welcome to the Brandon Holt Show.
Well, thank you, Brandon. It's so good to see you all grown up there. How about that?
That's great, Doc. I haven't seen you in, what, 30 years?
30 years. Last time I saw you, I think your dad, Carlton, was dragging you out of church by your left ear. Yeah.
We've all developed some gray hair since then, so we really don't look the same.
Yeah, I was wondering where you found those pictures because those were a few years back.
So you're see, how's it going in Nashville?
Oh, it's all great. You know, the same thing's going on here as everywhere else, and we're just trying to live life the best we can and get through this crazy year. And you know, I think it's been crazy, but at the same time, it's brought about an awareness of family, and we need to slow down. Maybe I shouldn't say we. I need to slow down. And I've learned that this year, and I've really enjoyed actually getting to mow my own grass and clean my garage. Stuff I never have had time to do before, you know. So
has COVID slowed down you as far as what you do that we're going to talk about in a few minutes?
Say it again, you broke up.
Has COVID slowed down operations for the show?
Yeah, it really has. As a matter of fact, my entire speaking tour this year, I got the first 3 engagements done, and the very next week I was supposed to be in 5 cities in 5 nights. Totally shut down, and I've lost every single engagement for the entire year. And all of our big filming trips have been canceled with the exception of 2, and that's Alaska and then in Colorado. Those are coming up. Looks like we're going to be able to make those. But other than that, we've had to be super creative. And you know what? It's interesting when you're put into a box, you got to figure out what to do in that box before they let you back out again, you know? And so we have done some things a little bit differently and have been creative, and we had to fill 3 final shows for this season, and we're airing right now, primetime on Sunday nights and other days. And so I think the ones that we came up with were actually pretty good. I'm excited about to see how people respond to those. They're not the big high productions in Spain or the Amazon jungle or whatever, but I think they're still going to be interesting, and we'll see how the ratings do on them.
So, Jimmy, you have this award-winning TV personality show, and you're a producer, Sportsman of the Year, Huntsman, Fisherman. You have just your resume and your bio is just too much to tell. They can go to your website to really learn about you. But I noticed in watching, you have a love for the great outdoors.
Oh, absolutely.
You've traveled all over the world. And I just want to know, what was your most memorable hunting expedition?
Well, there have been many. You know, I grew up hunting and fishing with my parents. And I learned to do that from my parents. And naturally, when your family goes with you, that's really special. And those would be the top ones. But I know what you're asking. When you say most memorable, I'll just reach over and grab this because this is what comes to mind. That's a shrunken head. It was actually real human hair and goat skin made by a Shuar Indian in the Amazon jungle because he no longer practices cannibalism and head shrinking, and he's using goats now. But I came back with some of those from a trip in the Amazon jungle. That one probably is going to be hard to beat as far as remembering it because I literally at one point thought whether I was right or wrong, I thought that I was having an encounter in the middle of the Amazon with the head shrinking cannibal tribe that we weren't supposed to be having an encounter with. And I thought I was going to die. And I kept looking at my cameraman and at Steve Saint, who the Alka tribe had killed his dad already and speared him. And I'm with him. And I'm thinking, well, are they bigger than me? Which one's going to get eaten first? Am I still going to be alive? When you start thinking things like that, that doesn't normally happen when you're squirrel hunting in Arkansas. So that one was very memorable, and it was truly amazing. We were there filming the Alka tribe, which is the fiercest tribe in the history of the world. And we wanted to document them before eventually hopefully not, but they may go away someday. And, it'd be a sad thing to not have great documentation on them. So we did a documentary on Kai and Dabo and Kimo, and actually lived with them and got to blowgun hunt with them because they have to hunt to survive. They have to plant trees or maniac roots to survive. And so I'll never forget that experience. I could tell you a lot of stories about it.
So let's talk about your TV show, Spiritual Outdoor Adventures. Kind of tell us the conception of how that started. Have you always wanted to have your own show? You're in your 18th season. Most shows don't seem to last that long.
It's just been a massive blessing. We're actually in our 19th season now and filming season 20. I always loved television ever since I got into it. And I knew you as a child when I got my first TV show. It was called Campaign America, and it was in Dallas, but it aired nationally, and it was a talk show similar to Oprah. And I did that one for 3 years and loved it and did a lot of live stuff. And then I did another show later on from 98 to 2000 called Amazing Grace Bible Class out of Nashville. It was more of a suit and tie show, magazine type show. I interviewed a lot of neat people. But this one was the one that I felt God put on my heart to do. And I'm an ordained pastor and trained theologically and even taught at seminary level. But I just always felt like, Brandon, that I was just, kind of preaching to the choir and is people that already knew about God. And I just wanted to do something that would help introduce people who don't go to church, who don't have a religious background. I wanted to just say to them, hey, you love the creation. You love getting out here and hunting and fishing and hiking and you love the animals of the world, the creation. Let me tell you about the one who created them. So that's where it was all born. Spiritual Outdoor Adventures came from that. And it's my platform that I'm using to share my own personal Christian faith.
And I think it's great that you are a world-renowned speaker and you have a lot of love for a specific community where your charitable donations from speaking go to support those who are struggling with disabilities.
Yeah, absolutely. When you travel the world and you see, if you get off the vacation path, it's one thing to go to Cancun. It's another thing to go to Cancun, rent a Jeep and drive 30 minutes out in the mountains. It's a lot more dangerous. And also you're going to see how the majority of the people really live out there. There are very, very poor people in the world. And many of those people that are so disadvantaged are children, and they just don't have any kind of hope for life. And so my passion has been for 31 years now to try to find people like us who have expendable income who will be willing to share, somewhere around $30 to $38 a month to help these children go to school, get a backpack, get shoes, get fed, get doctor's care, working with a very reputable organization called Compassion International that meets all the guidelines. They use the money correctly, and we help these kids break the poverty cycle. And then they turn around and get a job and can support 9 family members. So we're breaking 10 people out of the poverty cycle. So, if we can rescue 2,500 kids over time, that's 25,000 people that we're helping break the poverty cycle. And we're making a little dent in the world. And, I just feel like that as human beings, we're all part of the human race. We need to help each other. And it doesn't matter what background we have or what skin color we are or whether we're female or male or whatever. We're just humans and we need to help each other. And if somebody's down, pick them up.
I agree. And it seems like you have a lot of fun out there. Did I see you flying a fighter jet?
You did, actually. Yes, I was not trained as a fighter jet pilot, but my wife gave me a birthday present when I turned 50 and we went to France, and I got to actually co-pilot a L-39 Albatross, which is the trainer to the Russian MiG, and they put cameras all over it, and we filmed it and put it on one of our shows, and it was amazing. My kids were down there on the ground taking bets that I was going to be throwing up, and of course I was determined that I wouldn't. And I guess you'd have to watch the show to find out what really happened. It'll be on our website soon. So.
Let's kind of get into more of a serious discussion on the activist groups who are against hunting for wild game.
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle the criticism and the backlash? Because watching your show, you're all over the world, deer hunting, elk hunting, just different, varieties of animals. How do you handle that backlash?
Well, first of all, when they're death threats, we call the FBI. And we don't get too many of those, but occasionally we do. And we let the FBI handle the death threats because that's when people are going way too far. Now, when people are either civil or uncivil and object to the hunting lifestyle, I try my very best to have a good conversation with them so that they will understand, if they're willing to listen, that there is an ethical and environmental and conservation side to hunting and fishing. It would take us hours to really cut through everything. So let me just say it this way. Everybody on earth is a hunter. Everyone is. You're a hunter because you go to the grocery store and you pick out food that has been killed for you. You've paid someone to kill your food. If you're a hunter like myself, I actually have both the privilege and the awesome, mind-blowing responsibility sometimes to actually look the animal in the eye that I'm about to eat. And that's a hard thing to do. I'm also extremely thankful for the life of that animal, and I thank that animal. I thank God for putting that animal here, and I ask him to replace it. We're all part of a cycle of life. It's like The Lion King. There is death in the movie The Lion King by Disney, if you hadn't thought about that. There's death in it. And it takes the cycle of life. It takes death for life. And it's the same with plants. And so if we do not have death to give us food to eat, then we will not have life. And that involves every single human being on earth. How that happens is each person's choice. And I support vegetarians. I support non-hunters. I believe that they need to do what their conscience tells them to do. But at the same time, those of us who are ethical in the way that we do our conservation of guidelines, etc., fighting against poaching, abuse, then we're doing it the correct way. And there's nothing like good wild game. I'm telling you, my wife is a phenomenal wild game cook. And when she first married me, she was anti-hunter. But now she actually hunts and fishes. She has learned the conservation biological side of that. And we eat super healthily. We actually, we're having cougar for lunch today.
Wow. So what is cougar? What's your favorite type of wild game?
Sandhill crane, believe it or not, and that's taken legally in the states where they're legally hunted because we as hunters have brought them back, and they have really strong numbers in a lot of areas. Sandhill crane is by far the ribeye in the sky. Cougar would be number 2. Axis deer would be number 3, and then we would get to some African animals after that.
You can ship some of that cougar down here to Houston.
You know what? Just come to Nashville and you can sit with us and eat with us, man. It's good stuff. It really is. It's a phenomenal pork chop tasting meat. Really beautiful and sweet.
Will do, Jimmy. A couple more questions for you. Let's talk about this. You share your adventures in a children's book. In your recent book, The Legend of Indian Rock Cave.
Yeah. I anticipated your question, so I grabbed one. There it is.
All right.
Light and shine on it.
That is, what age group is your book for? Tell us a little bit about it.
It's for any kid that can read up to about the age of 12, but I specifically say about the 8 to 12-year-olds will enjoy reading it, and those a little younger will really enjoy their parents reading it to them. And it's an adventure story about a father and his 2 kids that are, the son is 13 and the daughter is about 10 or 11. And they go out and do all these fun adventures, and they find this old legend map on their great-grandfather's place. And it leads them to this secret cave where supposedly a legend says there's something buried there. And I weave in a lot of historical facts. I love Native American history, and I just think they're such an amazing culture of people when you look back at how they survived in history. And so I try to weave them in. Naturally, I weave my Christian faith message into it as well. And so I merge the way of the cross as a message in there. And my wife painted a really neat little painting that will help kids that are interested in memorizing scripture that teaches them the way to the cross. And it's a really fun read, big adventure, and we're hearing a lot of good things from the kids that are reading it. So.
That's cool. So, people can be real selfish and self-absorbed in the society that we live in today, Jimmy. Yet you live by this philosophy that's really intriguing to me when I look at your bio. If someone forces you to go 1 mile, go 2 miles.
Yeah, absolutely.
How can we apply that? We see the society is in total chaos today for a variety of reasons. So how can we apply this idea as in society?
Yeah, it's just known as the second mile principle. And, here's what the second mile principle does. If you do whatever's expected of you and then some, then you're going to be the best version of yourself. And one of the really neat phenomenons is it not only brings out the best in you, it brings out the best in others. So if someone treats you badly, says something bad about you, don't retaliate in the same way. Go the second mile with them, give them grace, even though they don't deserve it. That's what grace is anyway. And love them even if they don't like you. And I mean, you don't have to be best friends with them, but try to extend the olive branch, try to be kind, try to be nice. I think that if everyone would live by the second mile principle, we would see the chaos go away. We would start seeing each other differently. We would have unity rather than division, and we would have the best days ahead for our country and our world. So that principle is right out of Matthew 5:41 when Jesus said, if that Roman centurion forces you to go to a mile, go two. And boy, the Jewish people back then didn't want to hear that. They hated that. But he was right. And it definitely brings out the best of you and the best of others as a general rule. Sometimes it doesn't work, but most of the time it does.
Hey, Jimmy, we sure appreciate you coming on. Everybody, this is Dr. Jimmy Seitz. Make sure you catch him on Spiritual Outdoor Adventures, Season 18. Up next, we have a great person. His name is Ro Brooks, and we're going to bring Ro Brooks out in just a second. But before he comes out, let's take a look at his backstory.
Founder of the famous rap group Twice as Nice, becoming the first group to win amateur night on the historic Showtime at the Apollo. Ro is the author of How to Go From Extra to Actor, working alongside the greats of P. Diddy, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Master P, Justin Timberlake, Jill Scott, Lil Wayne, T.I., just to name a few. He is the founder of Hook Up Magazine, created to provide inspirational messages to inmates. He's appeared in films from 24, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, CSI New York, The New Edition Story, Sons of Anarchy, and Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots. He is the founder of Acting Class with Ro Brooks. In the fight against HIV, Ro has teamed up with the Center for Disease Control Do It campaign, bringing awareness to the illness. Help me welcome actor Ro Brooks to the Brandon Holt Show.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. It sure is good to meet you, Mr. Ro.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
I said it's great to meet you. Can you hear me?
Oh, likewise. Yeah, I can. It's a little low, but I can hear you.
You know, Ro, we got a lot to talk about, man. We're going to go all the way back to Harlem, New York, Showtime at the Apollo. You and some friends, you started up this group, Twice Nice, this rap group. And the first thing we want to know is, before we get into Showtime, can you rap?
A little bit, I guess. I mean, I was a dancer in the rap group, but that was just like a stepping stone for me. So I really did want to be a rapper.
That's cool, man. So let's go to Showtime at the Apollo, the historic theater. Tell us what happened with your group and what was that feeling like?
Oh man, like you said, it was Twice as Nice. We were a local rap group out of Baltimore, and we performed all around the city. And then one day we performed at this one talent show, and Jane Harley, who was a big promoter for the Apollo, and I believe her father actually ran the actual Apollo Theater. She saw us perform, and she liked what she saw. And at the end of the show, she came to us and asked us, told us that how much she liked the performance and if we wanted to move on to the Apollo. And that was crazy, just hearing her wanting to take us, because back in the day, the Apollo was the biggest show on television for entertainment. So of course we wanted to go. So she started taking us up on like Wednesday nights, and we would perform on Wednesday nights. And these were like the local nights in New York where it would just air in New York. The rest of the world wouldn't see it. So we would do that maybe like 4 times. After that, we would advance to a Sunday night show, which would actually air on Saturday night all around the world. So that night when we found out we were going to New York, we took 7 bus loads of people with us, 7 Greyhound bus loads of people from Baltimore. We went to the Apollo and we murdered it. We killed it. We won, man. It was bananas. I'm having a problem hearing you. I'm sorry. I'm having a problem understanding.
Okay, we can hear you good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, say it again.
Okay, can you hear me now, Will?
I can hear you.
Okay, so tell us about how you went from extra to actor.
Okay, that situation. Well, I didn't start acting until 93 ish. I've always wanted to be an actor ever since I was a kid, but um, it's like nobody in my hood knew anything about acting. There were no actors in Baltimore in the inner city. Everybody did other things, but I wanted to act. So, being as though I didn't have anybody to usher me into the business, I had to find the best way to get in. So, one day I just happened to be listening to the radio, found out that they were coming to Baltimore with a movie called um, Meteor Man, directed by Robert Townsend. Big shout outs to big brother Robert Townsend. So they told us on the radio what we needed to submit, to be an extra on the show, in the movie, excuse me. So they said you needed a Polaroid. I'm dating myself right now. You needed a Polaroid picture, and for you to send that picture in with your name and your height or whatever on it, and mail it to this particular address, which I did. And they contacted me a couple days later, which was amazing, because this would be my first job, so I was extremely excited. So, make a long story short, I went on, did the background role of a gangster on that particular show, and then from there on, I just kept finding ways to be an extra on different projects that came through Baltimore, so I could learn the game. Because at that point, I didn't know anything about acting. I always wanted to do it, but I didn't have any prior experience. So I would just do extra work all around the city until I was able to learn more and more about it. Then I would, move from extra to doing roles and independent things of that nature. So that's how I went from extra to actor. And then once I moved out here to LA, of course, it was almost like starting over again, but I had a lot under my belt then. I had already done The Wire, I had done Homicide in Baltimore, a lot of, local shows, but national at the same time. So once I got out here, I piggyback off that, got into a lot of music videos and things to get my name known on the West Coast, and got union, which you need to be out here. You have to be SAG-AFTRA. Did that, got me a manager and an agent, got me some work, on national television, and the rest is history. I'm having an issue one more time. Say it again.
It's hustle hard getting into the industry. You started as an extra, but you hustled hard to get in there. So now you have this book available to people that you can start, quote unquote, outside of the actual acting and get into acting. I want to tag into something else. You're really big working with the offender population. I myself have worked in the offender population. Tell us about the inspirational magazine that you have for those who are incarcerated to give them hope.
Oh man, yeah. Back in I would say 2000, I started. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, back in 2000, I started a magazine called The Hookup Magazine. I also own several music stores in Baltimore and Atlanta. Sounds in the Hood. I had a couple record shops and on the East Coast. So, of course, me being from the hood, I knew a lot of guys, even some of my own homeboys that would, go to jail, because, we were young back then. So they would go to jail for different reasons. But what I found out was when a lot of my friends or anybody who went to prison, they would be forgotten. There was a saying that said, you know, once you go away, you're forgotten. People forget about you when you're in prison or what have you. So I wanted to piggyback off of, or should I say, help the inmates or my friends that went to prison by creating a magazine that would give you all the music, because I had the store. So I put all my music in the book where you could order the music, and I would interview other celebrities back then, so they could have reading material and things of that nature. And then we did a pen pal in it, and the pen pal was definitely for the inmates because we were trying to let them know that just because they were gone, they weren't forgotten. So we gave them access where they could write us and we would write back. So along with that, we would write back. Some guys, even when they came home, they would come to the store and visit us because they felt, like we kept them going inside, we kept them alive, and it was very, very inspiring, man. Uplifting. It felt really good that we were able to reach out and have that kind of impact on, just guys that were going through tough times. Excuse me.
And so, people have grown and reaching out, letting them know that, hey, we still see you, we still have love for you, we want you to know that you are somebody. So I think that's great. Let's go to the CDC, the Center for Disease Control.
Yes.
The situation in your family where someone had a medical issue and you actually developed a working relationship with the CDC.
Yes.
Let's kind of talk about what that means, what it is for those who can do it.
Well, man, that means everything to me. Just to be able to be a part of the CDC, this is like the disease control. AIDS is a big, at least it really was a big problem in the African American community. And it hit me at home. It hit close, really at home. My sister, my youngest sister, she contacted AIDS and eventually passed from it. So when I was offered the opportunity to be a part of that campaign, I jumped right on it because I had to find other ways to channel. It was really a hard time for me dealing with that. That was my youngest sister, so I didn't have an outlet really to pour out, and you can cry and things of that nature. But I'm a help guy. I like to help and find a way to help situations become better situations. So when that opportunity was offered to me, I jumped on it because I had something to say. I felt it and dealt with it. It was a personal, emotional situation for me, and I wanted to share with the world and let them know that AIDS is real, diseases are real. If you're going to have sex or whatever, if you're going to use drugs, use clean needles, you're going to have sex, be sure to wear protection, condoms, and things of that nature, because it's real, and you don't want to lose someone like I did.
I know that there's fear when it comes to getting tested, but it's so important for people to get tested just to know that they are safe.
Yes, you have to be tested, man. It's not just for the people that you're involved with, but it's for your own safety. You want to make sure that you do everything in your power to stay safe and to keep everybody around you and the people that you're dealing with safe, because it's a serious matter.
So, Ro, we're going to close out with this. You have this acting class that you founded, acting with Ro Brooks. Man, Ro, I'm trying to get in the game, man. Can I just become an extra?
I'm right here, man. I got you.
I'm trying to get, Ro, when you have another movie, can you just think of me and just let me stand in the background?
I got you, man. I got you. We're gonna do more than that. We give you a couple lines.
Yeah.
Throw some lines at you.
Yes, sir. Tell us about this acting with Ro Brooks, man. That's powerful.
Okay, well, from just the discussion that we've been talking today, I like to give back. Not only do I like to be involved in every aspect of the entertainment business, but I like to give back. There's nothing like giving back. So from my book, How to Go from Extra to Actor, from the Hookup magazine to acting class with Ro Brooks, all these things are created for me to give back to my fellow thespians. So I started acting class with Ro Brooks because I know a lot of actors and I meet a lot of new actors that come out here to LA that need the foundation of acting like I needed when I first came out here, or when I first started acting, I didn't have it. So I felt like once I learned what I needed to know and feel like a true actor, I could give back and teach other aspiring actors. And that's what I did when I started the class.
Everybody, that's Ro Brooks. He's an author, he's an actor. Ro, tell the people real quick, how can they get a copy of your book?
Oh, you can get my book from my website at robrooks.com. That's robrooks.com. Just log on. You'll see it on the front page. Click on the book. It'll take you to the purchasing site or what have you. And there you go. If you'd like for me to sign it, leave a message inside the comment box, and I'll sign it for you and get it out to you.
Well, man, from my heart to yours, I appreciate you listening to
Appreciate
on the Brandon Holt Show. Never going to forget this day. Hope to see you again in the future. Hope you stop by, man. And best wishes to your family and everything.
Yeah, thank you. We're going to do that. We're going to have a good time. And next time we hook up, both of us going to do some rhyming. We're going to do 8 bars apiece.
Man, take care. Good to see you.
God bless.
God bless, man. Everybody, that was Ro Brooks, author and actor, all the way from Los Angeles, California. My next guest is one that you do not want to miss. But before we bring her out, we're going to go to commercial. Hey, you know we got to pay those bills. We'll see you in just a minute.
Everybody, it's Brandon Holt, host of The Brandon Holt Show. Follow us on Instagram at Brandon Holt Show, at Brandon Holt Sr. This show is to give you the opportunity to let your voice be heard. If you have a gift, a talent, a project that you feel the world needs to know about, and you would like to be a guest on the show, email us at thebrandonholtshow@gmail.com. Big shout out and thank you to all of the participants so far who've appeared on the show and those who are coming in the near future. Be sure to catch us on Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Facebook, The Brandon Holt Show, also streaming on Instagram, The Brandon Holt Show. From my heart to yours, see you on Tuesday night.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Nikki Chu, and on July 7th, I'm going to be on The Brandon Holt Show. So be sure to tune in. Can't wait to see you there.
Hey, good people. This is Louis D. Powell. I just want to say you can catch me on July 7th, chopping it up with my man Brandon Holt on The Brandon Holt Show. We're going to have a good time, some good laughs, some serious convo. Make sure you tune in. All right, peace.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, international recording violinist Dominic Hammonds here. And look, I'm going to be on The Brandon Holt Show. That's right. Be sure to tune in July 7th, man. It's going down. Hope to see y'all there. All right, peace.
Hi, this is Sergeant Major Craig. Join me on The Brandon Holt Show. See you real soon.
What's up, everybody? I hope you guys are all doing well. It's your girl, Rhonda Mormon, and I want to invite you to join me on July 14th at 7 p.m. on The Brandon Holt Show. That's right, your girl will be a guest. I look forward to seeing you there, and I hope you all stay truly blessed.
Hey, I hope you're available tomorrow night. At 7 o'clock Central Time, I'm going to be on The Brandon Holt Show. Gonna do some music, and it's no holds barred on Brandon's show tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to seeing your face in the place. 7 o'clock Central Time.
I wanted to personally invite you to tune in to The Brandon Holt Show, beginning July 7th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm opening up the hour. Tune in and listen. A Minute with Lavette Cherie. See you there.
Hi there, it's Cheryl Cobb, author of 10 Dirty Little Secrets That Nobody Wants to Tell You About the Entertainment Industry. Join me on The Brandon Holt Show. I'll be sharing some of my secrets with you. See you there at The Brandon Holt Show.
Hey, it's Brian McKnight here. I wanted to give a quick shout out to my man Brandon Holt. I will be on The Brandon Holt Show this Tuesday night, July 21st. And I'll see you soon.
Hi, celebrity designer Angela Dean. Join me on The Brandon Holt Show. Looking forward to a great conversation. See you around.
I want to give a shout out to my good friend Brandon Holt. You can also catch me on The Brandon Holt Show on August 18th.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy JC, and I want to give a big shout out to my bro Brandon Holt. He's been holding me down for years, and I appreciate him continuing to do so.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Seitz, and I am really looking forward to being on The Brandon Holt Show on Tuesday night, July the 28th at 7 p.m. Central Time. Now, I've known Brandon since he was barely out of diapers. If you want some scoop on Brandon when he was just a young kid, I'm your man. So I invite you to come and have some fun with us. Mark your calendars, Tuesday night, July the 28th, 7 p.m. Central. I look forward to spending some time with you and Brandon.
Hey guys, it's Ro Brooks. Join me and my boy Brandon Holt on the new Brandon Holt Show on Tuesday, July 28th at 7 p.m. I'll be checking for you. Peace.
Hey everybody, it's Miss Jody Watley. Join me July 28th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, but streaming all around the world. I'll be on The Brandon Holt Show. So join us July 28th, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, streaming all around the world. See you then.
Everyone, before I bring out my next guest, she is an icon. She's a legendary Grammy award-winning singer, songwriter, and producer. Before I tell you who she is, let's take a look at a little bit of her life, and then we'll bring her out.
Jody Watley, Best New Artist, Grammy Award winner in 1987 from Chicago, Illinois. Started her own label, Avatone Records, in 1995. Grammys, American Music Awards, MTV Awards, Real Love, directed by David Fincher, remains one of MTV's most nominated of all time. NAACP Award nominee, Billboard Life Achievement in Dance Music, ranked as one of Billboard's greatest dance artists of all time in 2016. Black Music Honors, Crossover Music Icon, 2017, 2018, added to Billboard magazine list of top 60 Hot 100 female artists of all time and top 25 dance artists of all time. The first woman of color to appear on the cover of a high fashion magazine in Japan, Spur. Been featured in Vogue, Italian Vogue, including the historic Black issue in 2008. Harper's Bazaar, Rolling Stone, Essence, and named one of America's most beautiful people by People magazine. Help me welcome Grammy-winning icon, Miss Jody Watley, to the Brandon Holt Show.
Help me, everyone, welcome the one and only, lovely, Grammy-winning icon, Miss Jody Watley, to the Brandon Holt Show. Miss Jody Watley, how are you doing? How are you doing, Miss Jody? Miss Jody Watley, welcome to the Brandon Holt Show. Miss Jody, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Miss Jody. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Check your sound. Are you there?
Oh man. Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine. Can you hear us?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Can you hear me, Miss Jody?
Yes.
Miss Jody, you're all the way from Chicago, aka Chi-Town. Are you a
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. We can hear you good. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
I can hear you. Let me pump up the volume.
No problem. So let's talk about how you first got into music. What inspired your style? Down. Miss Jody, they said your camera's upside down. Your camera's upside. Okay, is that better?
My debut performance was with. It is? Hold on a second. Here.
No, there you go. No, go back the other way. That's good right there.
Am I good?
You're great. You're great. Take your time.
All right.
So let's talk about your debut performance. What inspired you getting into music?
I was born for it. It's just in my DNA. My parents, my dad, God rest his soul, just in me. My first stage appearance was with my godfather, Jackie Wilson. It's just in me.
So you started out dancing for Soul Train, and I really like your story. You were dancing for Soul Train, and you got actually turned down a couple of times, but you kept going, you kept pushing. And tell us how that entered into a whole entertainment career for you.
Well, something that I always say is in this life, and I've said it throughout my career, um, we all, rejection is something that we all go through. And I've just always had the wherewithal to push through any negativity. And it's something that I always encourage people in general. And, even when you just feel you're at the depths of despair, you have to keep going. And that's something I've always had in me since I was a little girl. And it's something that continues with me today.
So on Soul Train, you experienced rejection, you kept pushing, you got that break that you were looking for, and then you were asked to appear in Vogue magazine and also Harper's Bazaar, but you stated that your label would not pay for you to go, so you got your own ticket because something inside of you knew that music and fashion went together. So let's talk about how that changed your life. You're a fashion icon. So how important is fashion and music?
Music and fashion has always gone together. I mean, the great artists of any generation, no matter how great the music is, you're going to have a visual, whether it's Jimi Hendrix, Little Richard, Elvis Presley, Jackie Wilson, the Mamas and the Papas, Diana Ross and the Supremes, the Beatles, the Carpenters, any name I throw out with you, even today, if you think Rihanna, you think Beyonce, any true great artist, you're gonna have a visual of what they look like. And I always say, if you're great, you have to be Tina Turner. It's like you got to be a Halloween costume. And I say that respectfully in that there's some imaging that just resonates with people, even though artists like myself, even though you move on and you have different images, there's somewhere Prince, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, there's some imprint that is made within you that you remember, not just the music, but the vibe. And so, I'm fortunate to be an artist that people resonate not only with my music, but they have an identifiability with, my visuals. But the important thing I want to say is for anyone, any artist, it's like it's not just looks, it's not just your outfits. You still have to bring that. I was going to curse. You still have to bring it and have something of substance that captivates people beyond that. And so fortunately, as an artist and a writer, I continue to have that impact upon people.
So before we talk about this extraordinary latest single that you have that we're going to share with the world tonight, let's talk about how you stay authentic in your music and how do you appeal to all generations? Because I remember when I was just a child, you were the musical. I would tell you my age, Miss Jody, but I'm not. But how do you appeal to all generations?
First of all, don't worry about that. Just live. It's my motto. Just live. People get hung up on, I'm aging myself, and just live. It's Prince used to say that. It's like I don't have an age. I'm just here, and I think that with the zest for life, my appeal, I think, is that whether it's mainstream or underground or dance or off the beaten path, whatever it is, it's authentic to me because I'm just, everybody is, we can be many things, but I embrace the fact that, as an Aquarian, and shout out to Trance, hey Trance, that, if people get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. The people that do, you appreciate it. And what fuels me, Avatone is my label. I started in 95 and the Avatone is like the idea of fuel. So what fuels me is always being real and being authentic. I have hits, I have misses, I have everything in between, but I'm always constant in that I'm just doing my thing. and I'm keeping it moving.
You're really doing your thing on social media. You are totally in the social media game. You're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, YouTube, streaming all across the world. How has social media changed the music industry?
There are positives and negatives. And I do want to say, since we are on social media and we're in the most important voting season of our lifetimes, vote, people, register. If you have never voted before, this is a very critical time. And also with social media being such an impactful force at this moment with social justice, and we still want justice for Breonna Taylor, and I want to mention that, and Sandra Bland, I want to mention that, and so many others that need justice. And so social media, in the most positive way, it connects people, it gets messages out. With how I use it, I connect with my fans. Back in the day before social media, I was an artist and a person, a human being, that I would answer fan mail. So those who follow me on social media, when I say thank you or make a connection or, hey, how's it going? Hey, Lupe Ortiz, people that Aaron John, I see names and they know that I connect to them. A lot of artists, they, use it in different ways, but I think the positive of it is it can bring people together. The negative of it is there are people that they just get on to disseminate lies and gossip and rumor and create drama and just keep misinformation going. And I'm not with that. It's just, life is too short for that. So people use it for the truth in a positive way.
The world needs healing. We live in a world where there's all kinds of this chaos, and turmoil, and dysfunction. And so you wrote this song called "The Healing." That's your latest single. So appropriate the times that we live in today. Tell us about your single.
The Healing was my previous release in the winter was Winter Nights, a very chill, ambient, by the fireplace or by the heater, whatever you got going to give you warmth, Winter Nights. And so my concept was I was going to do a seasonal series. It was going to be spring, then summer, then fall, and then the pandemic hit, and it changed all my plans. And so, but the last song that I had done, written, The Healing, and I wasn't even, when the pandemic hit and I was just sitting on it and I'm like, I'll just wait until I can release the whole project next spring, God willing, spring 2021. But then as we were in it and I talked to my friend and colleague, Bill Coleman at Peace Biscuit, and I was like, I got this song, The Healing, I want to do a remix for it. I think it's really timely. Because the lyrics is just everything that is now. And it's like with everything came to a pause and for people to reflect on what's important. What is important in your life? And if there's something that you need to repair, even this world larger than us, the environment, politics, just everything is just so exacerbated right now. So the healing was just timely, and it is a song about living in the now, learning the lessons of the past, and creating more love to take into the world. And also because there's always somebody trying to dim your light, whether it's through racism or people that are jealous of you or whatever it is, and they have always just negative things to say about you, people in your family, whatever it is that trying to dim your light. So wattage is always never let anyone dim your light. And I put that in The Healing because I want to remind people, never let anyone dim your light, your wattage. Embrace it.
Jody, I don't know if this is appropriate. If you could just sing to me or serenade me. Can you sing Real Love to me? I'm just curious.
Okay. a Jody Watley classic. I said I would get over you. Now I'm here out on my own, trying to live my life. Now you wanna come back. I don't need no brand new lies. And I'm gonna skip to the chorus. Real love, everybody needs one. Real love, got to have real love. Always about the empowerment. Accept no substitutes, only go for the real thing. And Brandon Holt,
that was
the real thing to the people in this new format. And I just wanted to support you. And Real Love is supporting those that are coming up next. And I really wanted to be a part of what you are doing and creating. And a lot of people talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And, you know, I've always been an artist and an entrepreneur that from, you know, everything that I do, I always, it's like younger people, independence, people that are pursuing their dreams with a positive vibe to it. I'm always with that. And that is beyond, that's real love right there.
Well, Miss Jody Watley, it was a pleasure having you on the show. We love you. We appreciate you. We wish the best for you. Great things in store. Looking forward to hearing more music. We'd like to play your single for the world to hear, like, the healing, because somebody out there needs healing. So thank you. We're going to go ahead and close out the show, everybody. This was Miss Jody Watley, Grammy Award-winning legend. Stop by the Brandon Holt show tonight. You can check her out on jodywatley.net. She's all over social media. Check her out on Facebook, on Instagram. Check her out on YouTube. Go purchase The Healing. It's available on all digital platforms. Go get it. Let's support our dear friend who we love so much. Everybody help me welcome Miss. Help me welcome.
Thank you. Stay healthy and safe, everybody.
Here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Strap your seatbelts on.
Spring. I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's time. The healing. Healing. It's time for the healing. The healing. Embrace the possibilities of the future. Create more love. Create more peace. Create more abundance in the now. It's what we have. It's what you make of life. Now. It's what we have. Now. It's time. The healing. Healing. It's time for the healing. Now. The healing. Never let anyone dim your light. Embrace your wattage. It lives within you. Your light lives within you. No matter what you've gone through, it's time. The healing. everything there is a season, and all seasons change. The light lives